So it looks like Aaron Parnas has been busted. Now, this is some news that's developing in the political world. For those of you that know, Aaron Parnas is a massive political creator on TikTok. For those of you that don't know, he leans left, but he focuses primarily on reporting the news. I would say he's basically a news aggregator. He's very quick to report what's going on, although he rarely adds his own opinion, and he tends to just report what is happening. With that said, it's very clear from his tone and from the few times that he does add his opinion that he is left-leaning or that he might even be far left. So what's going on right now is that he, along with some other massive creators on TikTok, are being accused in a Wired article that they basically are being paid by this thing called Chorus. This is basically a funding group for left-leaning or for the Democrats. It is not the DNC, although it pushes left-leaning talking points. Now, some of these creators have been said to be have been paid up to $8,000 per month to push this narrative, and on top of that, in the contract, they were sworn to secrecy, so they couldn't actually discuss that they were being paid to talk about these things. Now, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on this whole matter. Okay, first and foremost, I like Aaron Parnas, okay? He does a decent job at being very, very quick and reporting the news in bite-sized pieces. So if we look at him just like that, then fine, he's a news aggregator. With that said, he has built up a massive following on TikTok primarily, and it's very clear that he leans left. So the problem with all this is when you don't disclose that you are being paid for or funded by a left-leaning or left side funding group, when you don't disclose that to your audience and then it inevitably comes out, because these things always come out. They never stay hidden. They always come to light. Well, what ends up happening is, of course, your base, your supporters, your fans, your users, whatever you want to call them, you're going to lose trustworthiness with them, and you're going to lose confidence with them because they start to question, were you ever actually leaning in this direction, or are you a political grifter? Now, my thoughts on this: Aaron Parnas probably leaned left long before this group ever approached him. That, to me, is very clear. And how he probably saw it was, I'm going to talk about these things already, might as well get paid for it, right? He is massive on TikTok, so obviously he gets paid from that. With that said, when you grow on TikTok, if you push tons of videos, your RPM diminishes greatly. He has said that he makes less than 1 cent per 1,000 views for TikTok. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I haven't seen, the inner workings of his TikTok account, but it's believable because that's just how TikTok works. I've seen it with my own account. The more you post, the lower your RPM becomes, even if your watch time, etc., are greater than the previous video. So, here, look, coming from a creator, myself, who is entirely self-funded. I have never taken a dollar from anyone on either side, from any group whatsoever. Coming from a creator who has completely self-funded this content creation journey, who comes from running a successful online business, transitioning into content creation, it's hard. I thought it was going to be easy. It is difficult to grow. So would I love it if a group threw money at me? Yeah, absolutely. I've been accused in my comments, especially on TikTok, that I'm paid by the DNC. I wish, right? I wish I were paid by a group that I already slightly lean in that, or really more than slightly lean in that direction. I consider myself center-left, although on most things I do tend to lean left. Now, am I ever going to be approached by one of these groups? Probably not, because I call out their bullshit when it's bullshit. I have videos where I agree with Trump because a broken clock is right twice a day. And when he's right, I will agree and I will give credit where credit is due. So I probably will never be approached by this group. The point is, if I was, I would have to make a choice, right? There are pros and cons to every decision. If you take money from a group that has a political stance and it gets out, you're going to lose confidence with your watchers or your viewers, because they are going to see you as basically grifting or as sold out, etc. Now, you can mitigate this by announcing that, hey, I'm funded, I'm sponsored, I'm supported by this group. You basically see that as sponsorships on different videos, right? And then people can pick and choose whether they want to listen to you or not. The point is, in these contracts, it was contractually not allowed for these influencers to mention that they were being funded by this group. Now, Aaron Parnas has come out and made a video talking about this, and he didn't outwardly say it, but he basically said that yes, this group was funding him. He did not verbally say this, but you can watch the video yourself. The way that he says things, it is very clear that they were funding him. And the reason for this is he says that he was never paid for any sort of content, and they never controlled what was posted on his platform. But then he goes on to say that he doesn't believe that he has an obligation to disclose because it wasn't pay for content. It was more so funding, not paying for individual pieces of content. He's a lawyer. I'm a finance professional. That is not my area of expertise. Maybe that's the case. What I do know pretty well is marketing because I've ran a successful business, and that more so is in line with my expertise, which is business, finance, and economics. And I will tell you this, it is a bad look when you don't tell people that you are being funded by a political entity and then it comes to light. So is this going to haunt him? Probably not. He's a massive creator, and a lot of people that watch him lean left anyway. But I do think that he then made a follow-up video and talked about how the Republican Party and the right-leaning content creators, there is evidence that they have been paid directly by Russia itself. Maybe that's true. The point is, no one should be doing this without disclosure, right? But everyone's going to do it because we live in a world where you need fucking money to do anything. And if you want to pursue content creation, you need money. That's why people get sponsored, right? And unless you are a massive creator on YouTube, on TikTok, on other platforms, Instagram, etc., unless you're a massive creator, AdSense money or money from ads is not going to pay the bills anyway, right? It's not. So people look to other areas. Now, you can create a business. That's what I did. You can get sponsorships. You can sell someone else's product. You can do affiliate marketing, or you can get funded, especially in the political space, by parties that want, by groups that want their party to win. So, look. He's a massive creator. In my opinion, he probably should have said that he was being sponsored. With that said, he was probably going to talk about these things anyway because it's very clear that he leans left. So will I continue to watch his stuff here and there? Yeah, because it's easy to just have bite-sized things of news, and that's the end of that. He's a news aggregator. Now, of course, there are other controversies surrounding this person. He's been called a Zionist. Now this. Look, at the end of the day, maybe that's the case. But if you look at him just for news, he does a decent job reporting the news. Now, if you want to get, deeper into who you support, then yes, potentially there is some evidence that he has shunned away from reporting Israel and Palestine conflict news, etc., especially when it makes Israel look bad, although he has started to do that, probably because he was called out. And now you have this. We will see if this derails his career. In my opinion, probably not, because the fact of the matter is, if it truly was not pay for content, well, then he could post whatever he wants anyway, and it's more so a sponsorship or a funding enterprise. But it is very interesting and a little bit shady that this group, which is known as Chorus, that they did not want him or other influencers to talk about it or to say that they were being funded by this group. That is interesting. It is a little shady, and what the reasons for it are, I don't know. But it's an interesting read, this Wired article. Now, of course, you have to make your own inferences. I would love to hear your thoughts on this entire thing in the comments below. With that said, as you're probably well aware at this point, this is my Yap About Anything channel, hence the name. If you want, and it's my unqualified opinion on things. If you want my qualified opinion, that's on the main channel, and that focuses on finance, economics, investing, Federal Reserve policy, etc. My formal education and like a decade of experience is in finance and economics, so that's what I talk about on the main channel and nothing else. Here, I talk about whatever the fuck I find interesting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on these things. So if that is interesting, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel tremendously. It's hard, like I said, to grow here on YouTube, so every subscription means the world to me, and I am self-funded. So if you want these type of news, politics, breaking news from someone who is entirely self-funded and who has never taken a dime from anybody, then you are in the right place. So I hope to see you in the next video. With that said, the next video could be tomorrow, could be in a week, it could be in a month. It is literally whenever I think there's something important to talk about. So I will see you in the next video, probably sooner rather than later with the crazy world that we live in. Take care.